Good morning VC, how are we all doing? George back with another video. Yeah, I've picked up 8 records in the last 2 weeks. Definitely slowing down. So the first album I picked up at my local record shop. I seen it a while back and then he put it through the back and asked them for a couple of times. I couldn't remember which album I was talking about. And eventually put it out a couple of weeks ago and I recognised it again and got it. It was £9 and it's Antonio Carlos Jobim. And the LP is called Tide. Absolutely stunning picture actually. Obviously from Brazil. That's Christ there. Christ the Redeemer. It's on A&M Records from 1970. Yeah, all the songs are penned by Antonio. And it's got the famous song on it, Girl from Ipanema. It's the only track I really know, really. It's a quite gentle, easygoing album. Pretty unoffensive. Want to really put on the background, you know, or if you're reading a book or whatever, it's really easygoing stuff. But it was nice to pick up and obviously quite ironic at what's her name died last week. The girl that sung Girl from Ipanema. Anyway, good album from 1970, £9 it cost me. Sounds good, nice and clean. This other album's an LP I've been wanting for a long time. Well, since the album, the Tone Poet Katanga came out with, which was Curtisamy featuring Dupree Bolton, and also looked into that. Dupree Bolton had only made one other album, and it was on the Harold Land album, The Fox. I think this is from 1970. This is a 75 copy, recorded in 59, released in 1960. This is a US copy. And this album came in 2 different covers, and you can find it with the, depending who's pressed it. It's on Contemporary Records. Depending who's issued it. So we've got Harold Land on tenor sax, Dupree Bolton on trumpet, Elmore Hope on piano, Herbie Lewis on bass, and Frank Butler on drums. Yeah, it's good to get. Obviously with Katanga, Dupree Bolton had a hand in writing some of the songs, which made it really great album. The writing credits here are Harold Land and mostly Elmore Hope. But it's great to finally get a copy when you put your mind to it and go, I'm going to get that, you know. And so that's Harold Land, The Fox, 1960. I'm not sure if I've got any other Harold Land actually, but don't think I have. It was nice to pick up that album. Next album, I think was eBay, was Sam Rivers, Sizzle. This is on ABC, Infinite Jackets, Faulty Bits. There we go there, and this was only released in the States and the UK at the time. I think it was 1975. Yes, 1975 or 1976. So we've got Sam Rivers playing tenor, soprano saxophones, flute and piano, and he plays quite a lot of flute in this, which I really like. All the songs penned by, well, there's only 4 songs on it anyway, 2 per side. With Ted Dunbar on guitar, Dave Holland on bass and cello, Barry Altschul on drums, and then we've got Warren Smith on drums, vibes and timpani. So anything by Sam Rivers I'm going to get. It was this, I mean, £5 I think it was, and £4. Was they packed very well. I had to give the guy neutral. Just put in a envelope. Lucky to get here. But Sizzle, good album. The vinyl's really good and nice nick. Just needs a clean now. Sizzle. The next one I picked up was John Coltrane. First Meditations for Quartet. Again, this is on ABC Impulse, ABC Records. And this didn't get released till 1975. I've only played it once and I was sort of doing something, so I've not had a great listen. But it's recorded in 1965, so it's got the classic, his classic band here. McCoy Tyner on piano, Jimmy Garrison on bass, and Evelyn Jones on drums. So as I was doing something, I didn't get a chance to read the liner notes, but recording 65, I think it's round about the time, it's maybe leftover tracks from Love Supreme, I don't know, but it's round about that time anyway, session. So released in 1975. This was actually a sealed copy. American copy. I think I got on eBay too, and it was only paid like a £10 for this, which is really pretty cheap. I think well under the medium price. So you can really pick up some good bargains on eBay and sometimes. So I look forward to spending obviously a bit more time with this and reading about it better. Perfect. So I met my brother for coffee last week in Edinburgh, and there's a wee newish record boutique sort of shop open close to him. I've only been in once before, and so I took the chance just to pop in and have a wee look. I don't know what it reminded me, but I read an article on this month's Hi-Fi Choice or something magazine. They done an article on the shop. Guys, so went in, and it's all new albums, no second hand, and he's generally got maybe about 3 bins of new jazz stuff, and it's the usual tone poets and that sort of stuff. He's got good stuff. Anyway, picked up this Roy Brooks Beat. Roy Brooks is a drummer, and this is by the Verve by Request series. It was released last year. It's on Workshop Jazz, 180 grams. There'll be a digital. It sounds actually really, really good. I think it was originally recorded in 1964. Somebody will tell me that. Real cool album. So we're going at Blue Mitchell plays trumpet, Eugene Taylor, Hugh Lawson, George Bohannon, and Julian Jr. Cook. And Roy Brooks, one pen song on this album. We've got a couple of Joe Henderson tracks, a Duke Pearson track. It's a real cool album. It's nice, really sounds good. And I can see the reason why they've reissued this album. So happy to get Roy Brooks, first Roy Brooks LP in my collection. And the drums aren't overpowering or anything. Though some really good drums that are played on this. Yeah, nice album. Roy Brooks Beat. Next one, Tone Poet from last week, and it's Donald Byrd, Slow Drag. So this, the gatefold, now this album originally came in a gatefold, I think, so that's the original cover inside. So they've gave us a wee extra insert here. Not charged us any more money for it. Donald Byrd, Slow Drag, Starts off great first track, which is penned by Donald Byrd, and the rest are pretty random. I think Cedar Walton, who plays piano on the album, a couple of penned tracks by Sonny Red on alto sax, Walter Booker on bass, and Billy Higgins on drums and vocal. I think there's one track he does a wee bit howling. He's got a vocal for that. Yeah, 6 tracks. There's better Donald Byrd albums out there. It's a good album, don't get me wrong. Not his best. There's other things to go for if you're only going to get one Donald Byrd album. But this is slow drag. The first track is exceptional. And anyway, it's a good album. I like Donald Byrd. And the other one, Tone Poet this month, was McCoy Tyner. Time for Tyners. So I knew this was coming out, so I traded in my copy a couple of months ago, knowing that this was coming out. It's from 1969. The Donald Byrd, I think, was about 67. McCoy Tyner, so we have on it Bobby Hutcherson on vibes. Love Bobby Hutcherson. Herbie Lewis on bass, and Freddie Waits on drums. So 6 tracks on this. First 2 tracks on side 1. The first 3 songs are written by McCoy Tyner. The other 3 are from musicals, and I feel it just takes the album down a little. Track from Too Many Girls, Oklahoma, and My Fair Lady. Recorded in 68, released in 69. But that's the album playing in the background there. Probably can't hear it. Lots of vibes and for Bobby Hutcherson, and McCoy Tyner is such a fantastic piano player. So good to get a better copy in here. Not his best album, again. There's better McCoy Tyner albums out there. But pretty naff cover too, isn't it? But McCoy Tyner, glad to get nice to get an upgrade anyway. And last but not least, we have the blues album, John Lee Hooker, It Serves You Right to Suffer. This is an Analog Productions 2-disc 45. Again, it's another album. Again, don't know if there's any here, but it's an LP I've been wanting for a long time. The only album that John Lee done on Impulse Records, so I always thought it was maybe a special album, and it is a special album. It's excellent. Sound quality in here is absolutely brilliant. Give you a wee butchers at the label, normal Impulse label. Don't know who the band is on this. It's recorded in 1965. I think it was released in 1966. They're all the songs are 8 songs penned by John Lee, apart from one, which is a Berry Gordy song, Money. Fantastic album, and it's up there with the great blues albums. Those fantastic sounding acoustic blues albums, Muddy Waters, etc., Son House, and this is almost up there. Although John Lee Hooker plays electric guitar on this, and I'm not sure how many other musicians are on it, but they're fairly subdued. They're in the background. It's a great sounding hi-fi audiophile album, and finally glad to get this in. I think they retail about $60. So it's John Lee Hooker, Serves You Right to Suffer. Okay guys, have a good Sunday. Out for a wee gamey. See you later, bye then.